This is what the living room looks like right now. And I know I have some crafters slash quilters who watch my videos, so I could really use your help in trying to price some of this stuff. For the quilting fabric, I'm just going to sell it by the pound. I don't want to deal with measuring or cutting or any of that. It's just by the pound. Trying to figure out how much to charge. I want to be able to sell it, but I still want to get the most amount of money I can. I remember going to the fabric store with my mom back in the 80s, and fabric was $1 to $2 a yard. And I did a little searching online, and oh my gosh, fabric is so expensive. I found anywhere from $15 to $30 a yard, depending on what you buy. I really don't know what people charge at fabric estate sales. I don't go to any of them. I don't know how they're set up. So if you could leave a comment below, give me your ideas on what fabric sells for. I know if I want to get rid of it, I could just charge, next to nothing, but really need to get the most amount of money as I can. So, I mean, she has a lot of this quilting fabric that's already been cut. So, like, what would this go per pound? She has a lot of these, I don't even know what these are, these patterns in these little cellophane bags. What would these go for? She has a lot of holiday stuff. She has a ton of Halloween and Christmas. All these are patterns, I'm assuming. I'm not sure. I'm tempted to just kind of give these away just so I can get rid of them. Ah! These are not really magazines, they're just kind of like pamphlets. I don't know if I should just, I don't know, what would be a good price for these? I was thinking like $4 for $1. I don't know. Let's see, more patterns. More of this type stuff. Kits. So like she printed out the instructions, I guess, and then all the fabric is in here. Do people actually buy these, or should I just take it apart and just sell the fabric? I don't know. More of these. Table runner kit. Or do people just like to buy random fabric and make their own stuff? Here's a Halloween section. I don't know how many projects she was going to be making with all those Halloween fabric. This is just blows my mind. This is the felt shelf. I don't know if I should sell this at the same price as the fabric, if felt is still popular. I know it was when I was a kid. I don't know if it went out of style. And more this quilting fabric. I kind of put it upright in the boxes so people can see it and then just kind of pull out what they want versus having it stacked. So if they pull something on the bottom, I'll just make a big mess. So I have to repackage some of these boxes. I found these sawhorses out in the shed, and there's also a huge piece of plywood in the garage, so I'm gonna make like a table here. And so far, this is all the Christmas fabric I found. And these storage containers. I know these are really expensive at Michael's. It's basically just plastic. I don't know what price I should put on these. This is kind of the junk bin. I'm not pricing all these individual items. Should I just let people rifle through it and pick out what they want, or just put everything in a bag and put a price on it and they can just take the whole lot? I'm not really sure what quilters like or what they prefer. Got some adhesive, more junk bins. I think these are all scissors. Gypsy gripper. More quilt kits. And I found this bunch of rolled up. I don't even know what this stuff is. Fuse and tear. Oh, embroidery. I guess I can just let people pick through this. And quilt and press. Found some of these. And over here I have the fleece table. It's just more fabric down there. I guess I'll just let people pick through this. This should be, I'm just gonna sell it by the pound. It's lighter weight, so hopefully people buy more of it. The baskets, I'm probably gonna put out in the garage so I can make more room. And she has a bunch of this batting, like stuffing type stuff. There's more of it there and there. And polyfill. All of this is batting. I don't know what batting usually sells for. It's really big and takes up a lot of space, so I just want to get it out of here. And there's this is brand new. Sorry, it's upside down. Soft and stable. More foam type stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm cleaning out her craft room, trying to dig out all the fabric I can find so I can put it out here for the sale. There's still a bunch more fabric in the shed. There's a ton of it in the former office room, and there's still more of it in the craft room. I'm really worried not all of this is going to fit in here. I don't want to have two sales because people just aren't going to come back for the second one. I've had this problem before and I've talked about it before. So I might have to use the back patio or the front yard and just set stuff out really early and hope for good weather. So I kind of showed you what the layout's going to look like for the fabric sale. If you have any comments or guidance about just pricing this stuff, let me know down below. So, guess it's time to get back to work. And I've gotten a few comments of people wanting me to share items that my mom made. So I found this. It's a door stopper frog. The leg came unattached. She used to make these back in the 80s and sell them at local craft shows. I remember going to all the shows with her and just kind of sitting around the booth, helping out with customers. But yeah, she made this. She puts bricks in the bottom. It's really heavy. She made all different colors. I think she made a few other animals as well. But this is one of the items she made. And she also made this. It's a sewing machine cover. She put the little heart on it, put the hem on it. And she used to do a lot of cross stitching. And this is one of the pieces that she made. It says where there's room in the heart, there's always room in the house. I remember this was hanging on the wall in our house for quite a long time. But she did all this cross stitching work. And I also found a ton of these notebooks of like printouts. Of patterns she printed out and put in here. It's like a whole packet thing. The whole pattern, I guess. I don't know if quilters want this. Would they buy stuff like this, or do they just print out their own? But she has quite a few of these. All of this is stuff she printed out. So let me know down below if I should sell it or just give it away or just trash it. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm cleaning out the sewing room. I'm mainly just sorting things, trying to organize them by like items. Trying to get them ready for the sale that I have planned coming up. There was just so much stuff in this room. She crammed things into every little corner. And it's all just really a jumbled mess of a whole bunch of different stuff. So it was very labor intensive, just looking through every single item and just trying to put like items together. And while I'm doing this, I thought I would answer some more of your questions. How do I fight from being overwhelmed and not having the paralysis set in when nothing gets done? It seems like such a frustrating cycle. I just try not to think about the big picture. I really just look at what's in front of me and what can I do with these items that are right here. I've heard a lot of people say just take it room by room, just start with one room and clean it out, and then just move on to the next room. As far as the feeling of paralysis, you just gotta tell your hands and feet to do something, and even though your brain's telling you not to, you just gotta do it anyway. And think about the alternative, which is nothing gets done if you don't take any action. So I just focus on breaking things down into the smallest task that's possible and ask myself, well, what can I get done in the next hour? What can I get done in the next 10 minutes? And just take it step by step, as small as you need to break them down. I think the future is the greatest motivator for me. I tell myself, nobody else is going to do this. It's all up to me. So I either get this done or I just let it sit here and let the house fall down. And I don't want that to happen. So I just tell myself it's got to get done. So get it done. Did my mom's situation of hoarding start during my childhood? And was my dad a saver of stuff too? I would say my mom's situation with hoarding began, it's hard to say. I remember when I was a child and my parents would get into an argument and my mom would storm off out of the house and go shopping and come home with a bunch of stuff, and my parents would just get into another argument again. So her going shopping was her way of dealing with being in an unhappy marriage, and that was the way of dealing with it. As I got older, there really wasn't much room in the house for her to hoard things. I do remember our house was really full of stuff. There would just be like little trails everywhere throughout the house. Like you couldn't see the floor at all. But there was me and my dad and my mom living there, so we just kind of had a lot of stuff and I didn't really think anything of it. After my dad passed away, I think her hoarding got a lot worse. She got into a fight with some of our family members, so I think that made her a little bit sad. And I was not living in town anymore, so I didn't see her as often. So that probably contributed to her just feeling lonely, and she was doing all right while she was working, and then she retired and just kind of stayed home all day with the internet and a credit card and just went shopping online. I think it was her way of dealing with the loneliness, and it just gave her something to do. Probably made her feel good. I've heard hoarding is a result of past trauma, and I think that's true with her as well. Just looking back on some of the situations she has dealt with in her life. As far as my dad goes, he grew up during the Depression, so he had a really hard time just getting rid of anything. Anytime something broke in our house, he would buy a new one, but he kept the broken one because he was going to fix it someday, or just keep it as a backup for parts for the new thing. But I mean, he never ended up fixing anything, and it just kind of sat there and collected dust. So he kept a lot of stuff too. He didn't really keep a lot of sentimental items like photos or things. He was more into just the tools and the functional items that he would use around the house. So both of them combined, they just never really got rid of anything. I remember when I was in high school, at one time my parents had 7 storage units, and each storage unit was a 10 by 20, so basically a single car garage, and at one time they had 7 of them. They were paying $700 a month on storage, which back in the 90s was a lot of money. And in today's terms, it would be, I think they go for about $250 a month. So I remember them filling up one of the storage units, and they put a Christmas tree in it near the back, and then throughout the year they would put more stuff in front of it, and then by the time Christmas came around the next year, they're like, oh, well, we have to go get the Christmas tree out of storage, but they never did because they didn't want to pull out everything that was in front of it, so they just went out and bought another Christmas tree. And then after that Christmas was over, they stuck the tree in the storage unit and put more stuff in front of it, and the whole cycle just continued for years and years. So I just look back at it and just laugh about it. I mean, it was just ridiculous how much money they spent on storage for things they never even used, or half the time they didn't even know what was over there. It just blows my mind how much money they wasted on storage when they just could have been investing it and making a whole lot more money. After my dad passed away, I remember my mom eventually cleaned out all the storage units. Me and her cleaned them out. And really just everything, we just either trashed it or donated it. Or she moved it into her garage, which is why the garage was full of stuff. So that's our little family history of stuff. Kind of just blows my mind when I think back on it, but people do weird things, and I guess that was one of our weird things that my family did. We've seen a lot of supplies for quilting. Did you find any completed quilts? I did find a couple quilts. I think I show them in this video or an upcoming video. I wasn't sure if she had made those or not. I didn't know where they came from. She never mentioned to me that she was in the process of making any quilts. I never found any partial quilts she was working on. I didn't find really much of anything that she was working on. And then I did some thinking, and I'm remembering I saw those quilts in my grandmother's house. So I think those quilts came from somewhere a long time ago. I don't think my mom made them. So no, I didn't find a lot of completed projects. I don't think my mom really had the energy to make anything. She was just really tired and worn out, and I think the thought of starting a new project like that was just too daunting and overwhelming for her. So she didn't really make anything during her later years in life, but she enjoyed shopping. Have you thought about selling your house and living in your mom's house? You would have room for a studio then. Yes, I have thought about moving into my mom's house. It is larger than the house I'm in right now. The only thing is it's in a city I'm not too excited about living in. I lived there during my junior high and high school years, so I spent a lot of time there, and unfortunately, whenever I'm in town, I recall just a lot of bad memories from when I used to live there. And just going to the places my mom would go, it kind of just brings back memories. And it's just not in a town I want to live in. I really just want to move out of Arizona altogether. Not that there's anything wrong with Arizona. It's a great state. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I just want to be near the beach and near the ocean. And I just want my beach house. That's what I've always wanted since I was a child. I just love being near the ocean. I grew up in Southern California, so it's kind of ingrained in me. So I think if I move into my mom's house, it'll just delay my dream of being near the beach. Once the clean out project is complete, would you be open to preparing a master class for how to downsize in an organized way? That would be really awesome to make. I'm totally open to that. I don't know if I have enough knowledge to call myself a master. I've really only done this one time. But I'm willing to share any information or knowledge I've learned along the way with other people, so they don't leave this mess for their children to clean up, or if they just want to downsize their stuff. I'd totally be open to creating some type of course or consulting for people who want to downsize their stuff and live more of a minimal life. So I'm just kind of busy with cleaning out the house right now, but afterwards I'm totally open to that, and I'll see what the future holds for me. So it's nearing the end of the day, and this is what the room looks like so far. You can see the floor. Yay! I still have a lot of sorting to do in this area. I did clean off the table a little bit. Some more sorting on the shelves. I need to pack up all the quilt books. I'm going to sell those on Amazon. And I still have to clean out this little area right here and put the books away and drag out the fabric that's in the closet. All the AccuQuilt dyes I'm going to sell on eBay. And this is what it looks like after it's all cleaned out. Packed up all the books, put them in the bedroom. Still need to pack all those up and get those out of the sewing room. I started making some little bundle bags on the floor there of just like items. So like jewelry making supplies or rubber stamping. I thought that would be a good way of just getting rid of a large amount of items, and people can just pay a set price for all of it. And this is what the living room looks like. I pulled out the fabric that was in the closet. I need to bring out some more shelves to put the fabric on. And I also need to set up that big table in the middle of the room. And more organizing on this table right here, but that's what the situation is right now. And that's it for today's video. I'm going to head home, so thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.